October 14th, Windows 10 isn't going to be serviced anymore. And so I'm going to tell you why that's super important, and it's artificial intelligence. But before we go into that, if you are a business that has a Windows 10 and like you absolutely need it, you're probably wrong. Windows 11 would probably work. But let's just say you are right, that because that is possible. Um, then there is something called the long term. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of it right now. Anyways, it's a longer term licensing, and it costs a lot for the first year and then a lot more for the second year. And I can't remember if there's a third year. But so if you absolutely need Windows 10 and you're not going to upgrade your equipment, because let's face it, if you're not doing a lot with it, you might not want to upgrade it. And you for a price, you could get that technology extended. I recommend, for the most part, upgrading to a Windows 11 machine. If you're a business, Windows 11 Pro, surprisingly, there's a lot of reasons to get Windows 11 Pro instead of Windows 11 Home for your computer that we're not going to go into now and make a different video for that. But the reason why the AI is so important because of all of this is there's something called zero-day exploits. And zero-day exploits are what happens is um, any software, no software is secure. And so they the company will release critical vulnerability exploits that, and it'll have a score and it'll be on a scale of 0 to 9.9. I don't know if there's any 10s. I've never seen one, but there's a lot of like 9.7s. And what that means is that a remote code execution is a possibility, and without the user's interaction in some cases. And so that becomes a real problem if software is not updated. Well, back in the day before artificial intelligence, you had actually some time. If you took a month to update your software and you weren't on the latest version of something, it probably wasn't the end of the world. It probably wasn't good if you were like, the government or something like that. But just for regular people, they could get away with kind of stuff being out of date. Now it is so critical, because as soon as these vulnerabilities are put online, and they have to be put online, well, I guess I don't think they have to, but most of it's like the big companies do it, and they might have to. I'm not sure about that. Anyways, as soon as they're public, the bad guys who are super smart, and not only are super smart, but have an army of bots, like literally just programs and computers running all this stuff for them. That's terrifying. And so they're so much better than you are at updating your stuff. So it's very important to update your stuff. So if you have a business and you're running Windows 10, you need to come up with a plan. Small Town Tech, we can help you come up with that plan, but like either way, you need to come up with a plan. Just stop in, give us a call, whatever. Another thing about how Small Town Tech helps with that type of stuff is we actually make sure that Windows is kicking out its updates and your computers are staying up to date and everything like that. Because like if you're not running the most recent version, you could get into trouble, especially for your business, because there's a lot of like 9.5s and higher that are in recent versions of Windows. And so like, not to put the fear of doom into you. And also like, this is stuff you can do yourself. So it's not that hard, but like most businesses just don't have the time and the know-how to do it. If they did Google like how to make sure that their stuff was always up to date, that'd be a good place to start. Or ask AI some ways to make sure that happens. But the problem is when business owners sometimes do that stuff themselves, if they're not like the real tech savvy ones, and they're only the kind of tech savvy ones that know how to like use their technology for their business and are really good at that, they don't know how to check and stay up to date to make sure that's like continuously happening, not just for their Windows, but this applies to anything that is got ones and zeros behind the scenes, essentially, because software has the exact same problems. And people be like, oh, Macs don't have these issues. If if the core of it is a 1 and a 0, it has an issue. Like Macs can get viruses, they can get exploited, like all that type of stuff. So there's nobody who's safe from this. The only thing that you can do is in this cat and mouse game is be the mouse that's like a little bit ahead of the cat about to get you. So, and like that's probably a pretty good analogy too, except in this case, the cat's probably like a giant tiger or a lion, and you're a little field mouse, because the internet is a very scary place. So just be careful out there. Come up with a plan to upgrade to your computers. If you are a residential customer, I always talk about businesses because I think it's so crucial, especially for our local economy, that they're safe. But even for residential customers, this is super important too. And the Windows Home one will be end of life at the same time. And so just you should come up with a plan too, for sure. And these hackers, it's not like they just target businesses. They target everybody essentially, because they have bots just doing it. It's crazy. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Sorry if this one seemed weird. I had a headache before I started. I feel fine now. I took some Tylenol, but all right, stay golden.